up. Series 6, the final series of Downton Abbey, starts next Sunday. So, I'm finally finishing something for once in my life, and I have gone back and rewatched the last episode of Series 5, and I'm recapping it for you guys. I know you've been waiting on tenterhooks this whole time, but I got you back. So it's Lady Rose's wedding to Atticus. That is the episode, the wedding episode. And going on how most Downton weddings go, this one was pretty good. Right at the start of the episode, we got a mention of O'Brien, the traitor. Literally, she was referred to as the traitor. I love that girl. Shrimpy and Lemonface have finished their work in India, and she has run off to be lady's maid for the new person. Although I'm sad she didn't visit, that would have been so good. So everyone's frantically preparing for the wedding, which is taking place in London. They're having a registry office wedding, followed by a blessing. So, scandal. And the whole episode is just people being rude about Jewish people, really. Right, let's just get the Bateses out of the way, because turns out that they managed to annoy me again just from rewatching the episode. I thought I would be zen with it, but I was not. Baxter somehow knows everything and knows that the police are coming to interview Anna and Mr. Bates again. Mrs. Hughes is still denying everything. The police come round and say that they found out that Green was a disgusting human who liked to rape people, and was like, know anything about that, Anna? And everyone says, oh no. So then when they get to London, Anna's called into Scotland Yard and is put in a lineup. And unsurprisingly, she gets picked out from the lineup, and the episode ends with Anna being arrested. And my favourite part, where Lady Mary comes down in her dressing gown, and seriously the voice got out of control, posh. And she says she's going to call the lawyer, and the policeman was like, oh miss, I think you could wait until the morning. And Mary's like, I am not Miss, I'm Lady Mary Crawley, and is like so outraged, and it was just my favourite thing ever. So really that's all you need to know about that. Branson mentions that his cousin in America wants to expand his garage to include farming equipment, which he has knowledge of both, so he wants him to go over there and run the business with him. So he tells everyone he's thinking about it, and we're all very sad, because Branson is a bae. Obviously he'd be taking Sibby with him. Sibby is on fine form, playing Snakes and Ladders with Donk. And now everyone's calling him Donk, and it's the best. Prince Carogan turns up to Lady Violet's house and is like, yo, let me love you, babe. And she's like, are you gonna get divorced? And he's like, no, why should I? I do not want children. And Violet obviously is outraged and scandalised. And he says to her, I don't want scandal, I only want your love. And oh, guys. She tells him she'll think about it, sort of. But she's kind of in her mind decided no. But I just want them to be happy. In London, Baxter goes out with Mosley on a date. Obviously they take their child, Daisy, with them as they go and visit the museums. Daisy has her horizons expanded and declares she's going to leave and she's going to get a job in London. And Mrs. Patmore just cries, and it's so sad. It's like, Daisy, please no. Branson's already saying he's going. I can't deal with you as well. Please. Obviously by the end she decides she's going to stay anyway. But for the episode it was very traumatic. Mrs. Patmore's just like crying in a corner, like, don't look at me. And Mrs. Hughes walks in to see her like crying but walking away, and is like, what on earth is happening here? Mrs. Hughes is just on Sassy Pants McMeister this episode, and it is fantastic. Speaking of Mrs. Patmore, the memorial is being unveiled. Lord Grantham has asked all the staff to attend, obviously. He has his own rent-a-crowd. Mrs. Patmore obviously says she doesn't actually want to go. And it's while picking out a tombstone for Isis, R.I.P., that he has an idea. So he tells her she has to come for him. It's quite cute. He comes down to the kitchen and everyone's like, oh, it's just so much scandal, guys. And he asks her to come out of a spirit of forgiveness and moving on. So she comes, she sits through the whole thing like, and then at the end he's like, I'd just like to show everyone this. And he's had a memorial stone made for her nephew, and it's all very sweet. Although we all know he's probably made a bigger grave for Isis. Time for the Thomas roundup. Thomas is back on form. Yes! So in London, Denka's come along. Obviously she's had some comedy bants with Sprat before, but she's come to look after Lady V. I just realised I keep calling her Lady. See, I'm so out of practice, guys. The Dowager Countess. How dare I be so rude? They have hired a footman. Basically, Grantham House is pretty much empty these days, and is going to be, because the future is coming. So they hire a footman for the week. And Denka takes him out to show him a good time. Basically, she has a scam going on where she takes him to a club where he will gamble. And then, because she's taken him to the club owner is just plying her with free drinks. So she keeps taking him. Then she turns up absolutely drunk, and it's amazing. And Mrs. Hughes spends the whole time just like, Thomas, as he referred to himself as, your Uncle Thomas, clocks onto this and then declares he wants to go to the club. Mrs. Hughes sees these plans being made and asks them what they're up to. Thomas is like, oh, nothing. And then Mrs. Hughes says to the new footman something along the lines of, if you're going out with Thomas and Denka, you're going to die. So they get to the club. He gets the new footman to point out who the club owner guy is. He goes up to the club owner guy, not pretending he doesn't know it's him, and is like, where is this bonehead? And it's great. And says that woman at the bar's been bragging about how she's been conning him out of drinks all week. And then he leaves. Oh, he's also won a game of poker to win the poor footman's losings all back again. So he just bossed the whole thing. And then Denka's left with a bill for all these drinks that she's been drinking all week. And then the main part of the episode, seriously, so much happens in 1.5 hours, it's crazy. But the main bit of the episode was the wedding. So the two families are meeting each other for the first time. Shrimpy is back from India with his wife, Lemonface. They are getting divorced, but Atticus's parents, totally against divorce, so they're having to pretend that they're not divorced. And Lemonface is just determined to ruin this wedding, no matter what happens. Tom, Lady Mary, Edith and Rose all go out for lunch, because they are a gang, and it makes me so happy. Mary spends the whole time, incidentally, just pining over the fact that Branson said he's going to leave. Edith also pines a bit to him, and it's just really sad. They all love him. Speaking of pining, Edith spends the whole episode whining about the fact she's not with Marigold. The girl cannot be subtle. At all. And then Robert spends the whole episode going, literally, there is something about Marigold that I can't work out. And we're all like, come on, you'll get there. You'll get there. And he's like, there's a sense of deja vu. And Cora's just there like, oh crap. So then, as they walk back from the war memorial, after a lot of... He just stares at her like... Robert goes to Cora, I figured out what it is about Marigold. And Cora's like, yes? And says, she reminds me of Michael Gregson, tell me if I'm wrong. And Cora's like, no, you're not wrong. But please don't tell Edith that you've guessed. And he surprisingly takes it really well. I feel like it's because he worked it out for himself and took so long about it that he had time to become zen with it. But Cora's like, do you love your new granddaughter? And he's like, yes, I think I will. And it's, so cute. Times are changing, man. Robert's not flying off the roof. And, as he said himself, it's nice for once to know a secret in this house and not be the last person to find out. Anyway, back to the wedding. Lord and Lady Cinderby, Atticus's parent. Lady Cinderby, A+, she is the best person in the world. Lord Cinderby, awful human, hates everything, really not happy that Atticus isn't marrying a Jewish woman. Basically, you have Shrimpy and Lady Cinderby being awesome, Lemonface and Lord Cinderby being awful. There is the world's most awkward dinner in which Lemonface asks, "Do you have any English blood?" And then there's a great bit afterwards with Cora and Robert in their bedroom, and Cora's like, what the hell was she thinking? Basically, they all just make really awkward comments about each other's religion, and it's just, it seriously was painful to watch. It was just the most awkward dinner ever. Then Atticus has his stag night, and there's a setup with this woman who tries to get in a lift with him, and he's like, "I'm sorry if I've led you on at all, but it's not going to happen." And then she knocks on his door, saying that it's his tea. And he's like, "I haven't even ordered any tea." Opens the door, she walks in, pulls her dress down a bit, and then walks back out again. But someone's been taking photos. Now, how they stealthily took photos, I don't really know, because surely cameras are like back in those days, but whatever. Then the photos get delivered to lunch, and Rose nearly dies over them. But they work out it's all a big plot against them, and they make up, and it's fine. And then they try and find out who's done it, and they think it was Lord Cinderby, but Lord Cinderby is like, "Even though I don't like her, I love you, I would not do that to you." And then we all realise it was Lemonface. But Shrimpy, being a babe, keeps it all on the down low, sorts it all out, it's fine. So they get married. There's lots more Jewish comments, including a woman who, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but she's been a character in the past, going up to Cora and going, "How can you deal with this?" And Cora's like, "May I just remind you my dad was Jewish?" And then the woman's like, "Oh, Beatrice, nice to see you!" And off she goes. The wedding's adorable. Rose's outfit for the first one, meh. For the second one, where she's wearing a wedding dress, and everyone's like, how can she be wearing a wedding dress if she's already married and it's only a church blessing? But she looks amazing. And then at the reception, who should turn up but Tony Gillingham and Mabel Lane Fox, Sass Queen. And they go over to Mary and they're like, this is a bit weird that we're at a wedding and I was going to marry you, but now you're marrying her. And they're all just laughing about it, and they're all fine about it, apart from Tom, who stood there and just goes, "Right, so am I the only one that's finding this embarrassing?" And I fell in love with him even more in that moment. But going on the dinner he'd experienced later on in the week, really shouldn't have been embarrassed, because that was the least awkward thing ever. Lady Cinderby invites Robert and Cora up to the Moorlands for Christmas, and that is where you will see me again. Not literally in the Moorlands, but once I've watched it, I will be recapping the Moorlands for the Christmas episode, even though Christmas was a very long time ago. But then it'll be start of Series 6, guys.